Good day and welcome to another week on the Obidati Family TV. This is Diaspora Diaries and I am P. Catch. I'm not alone in the studio as I have my co-host as usual in the person of
Yeah, Ife Grace, you're welcome to Diaspora Diaries.
yes. You're welcome once again to the program Diaspora Diaries on Obidati Family TV. Diaspora Diaries is a program where we get to interact with Nigerians in the diaspora that are in support of a new Nigeria, okay, a better Nigeria, and of course, they are obedient as well. Talking about Nigerians in the diaspora, we have an engineer and IT coach joining us all the way from Germany. His name is Chike Diala. Hello, Chike. How are you doing today?
Hello, good morning. It's my pleasure to be a part of this, and I really want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Tell us, how is Germany this day? The morning? Is it morning or afternoon there?
No, it's morning right here. It's just 12:30 here. The weather is a bit cold and but not so cold, but sunny, but a bit cold. So there's a
Interesting.
little sunshine, but really temperature is really low. So it's
All
fine.
right, all right. Let's just get right into it. We have barely 2 weeks to the elections, all right? In the 25th of February, Nigerians will be going out to vote for their new president and, of course, vice president. Tell us, who do you think is the best man for the job?
I mean, it's not even a question, clearly, because looking at it objectively, without any bias, of all the three major front leading candidates, judge them based on their past track record. So, what do you use? How have they performed in the past? That gives you an inclination of how they'll perform in the future. So, personally, based on character, competence, you know, compassion. A compassionate leader is clearly Mr. Peter Gregory of the Labour Party.
Okay, please tell us, why do you think Peter Obi is the best person for the job? You've said compassion and competence. I would like you to, be more broad in your description and your explanation of your best candidate.
Absolutely. I think this election should be also an election for the youth. There should be a generational like change, you know.
Mm,
We need more young people in governance. So if you want to look at it based on age alone, because Nigeria has so many problems. You need that energy. You need to, we've seen it in the past where leaders, maybe 1 month, they are, going for health treatment abroad, and the issue of governance is, is just left, to no one basically. So by age alone, although age is not just a factor, Mr. Peter Obi is the youngest of the Labour Party. Now, by competence alone, this is a man who has, proven his competence in, as chairman of several banks, he has created wealth. And the slogan from consumption to production, we need to get Nigeria producing. We have so many youths that complain of so many issues, and we need to get Nigeria producing. We see how the system works here. Sometimes we wish and ask ourselves, why can't we have real systems that are very, very functional, that carry, petroleum products or cargo straight from, for those in Lagos, they can relate to me. You see so many tankers on the road, trailers causing accidents, falling on top of cars and all that. All those things can be avoided by having the political will. Decentralize the ports, for example. Open up other ports in the country. There's Calabar, there's Port Harcourt, there, etc. So I think that Peter Obi has spoken extensively on this, and he has the idea. The idea to do that. So that's competence. Now, character. Let's go to character. This is a man who has, shown disdain for corruption. You know, he has made it clear, look, if you can find any single money linked to Anambra State or, you know, linked to me, just expose me and I'll stop campaigning. I mean, that's a very, very powerful statement. And till date, nobody has been able to prove that, which I believe if his opponents had that proof by now, I mean, they'll be going to town with it. So now let's go to compassion, because somebody can be competent, but he may not have the compassion. You can be a competent leader, but you don't have the compassion. You just don't care. It's very possible. There are so many competent leaders. They may have excellent degrees, etc., but they are not compassionate, or they don't even have the character. You know, they don't stick to their beliefs. Now we go to compassion. This is a man, you know, that decided to spend. Let's even look at it. That's the powerful statement he made. He said, "You cannot have an IDP camp. Imagine those in IDPs. He spent, I think, Christmas. He spent Christmas with them or the New Year with them. That was one. He has shown, he and his vice, Dr. Baba Ahmed, Tati Baba Ahmed, you know, they've shown this, like, look, it is unrealistic to have an IDP camp while in Nigeria. They've, you know, made it clear that, you know, that is what should not be happening. And that, to me, is a compassionate leader. There are leaders that don't even care about those people. Like, look, you know, you're an IDP. Some people will even embezzle, you know, resources meant for them. You know, the downtrodden, zero compassion. When people who were even attacked, or people who even maybe were attacked, or Labour Party members who died, I think we heard so in Abuja and all that, you go and visit the families. That is compassion. You connect with the people. And these people can when they see leader doing that, they can go to war for you. So I think Mr. Peter Obi and Dr. Yusuf Dati Ahmed, they've shown a different kind of politics never seen before in Nigeria. And of course, less transactional. That to me is amazing. We need to change. We need to change, because people who have traveled, who have seen, I don't even want to talk about Europe. Just go to Ghana. Just go to Ghana. Please, if anyone can, go to Ghana and see what Ghana is doing. See how Ghana is. Look at, like, visit Accra and see what they are doing. You feel embarrassed. If those that make you know, talk about, oh, Lagos, mega city, please go to Ghana. I was there and I never saw any pothole. Like, they are from their roads, the way they drive, the way it was organized. Look at what other countries in Africa are doing. You know, you feel, you will know that, you know, that whole hype is things need to change, and it needs to change now, because any decision we make now affects the next 8 years. So I just imagine adding 8 years to your life, and you know, think about your children.
Yeah.
It needs to start now. Thank you.
All right. You just mentioned Ghana.
Yes.
You reside in Germany.
Yes.
My next question is this. What do you think is the biggest problem we have in Nigeria? A lot of us are aware that Nigeria is blessed with mineral and natural resources. We're also blessed with human capital. Okay, there are a lot of people, a lot of youths in this country that are lying idle, doing nothing. All right. What do you think is the biggest challenge that this country is facing?
All right. Thank you very much for your question. I think the biggest challenge Nigeria is facing is definitely the right leadership, because we have the people, like, we have the skilled personnel, we have the resources. We may even have the land. Not many countries have the, you know, the size of the land that we have in terms of, you know, and we are blessed that we don't have so many natural disasters. You just picture, people take this for granted. I mean, last week or so, there was an earthquake in Turkey, right? So many lives were lost. Now, just imagine, God forbid, but imagine that happened in Nigeria. I mean, those people are not more, they're not, like, you know, less than us. So But these things are happening, these are natural disasters. So we don't go through all that. Now imagine that is an occurrence that happens regularly in Nigeria. Earthquakes and hurricane, this, tornado, this. We don't experience none of that. We are blessed. The only thing we just don't have is the right leadership. That is the major thing. Once we get the right leadership and give, the right leadership is like a, stack of dominoes, domino cards. Things like issues that we have that will unite us, people who feel excluded from, and we can now come together and move forward as a nation and unite ourselves, because this is we are facing an existential threat. Even your Boko Haram and all these things are linked to it. Ask yourself, why has there been when was the last time you heard of a Boko Haram attack? When was the last time? Because all their sponsors are having an election now, they don't have time for that. So you can see that leadership is clearly the major issue. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Grace is going to come in here.
Yeah, sure. But before I ask my question, Mr. Shikil, I heard a rumor that over there at Germany that they'll be having a final movement for P2B this weekend. How true that is?
Yes, there is one. Depends on the city. So some cities I heard. You mean a rally? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. So there's going to be a rally. I think I heard of one in Munich, I think. That's what I heard, but details are still sketchy yet. So basically the idea is a final push. We want to make it big and see how we can sensitize others, everybody reach out to someone to spread the gospel and spread the message. This is the final push. We have like 2 weeks left. So that's the essence of the rally, of course. So yes.
Okay. Now my question is, what roles do election play in the life of Nigerian citizens?
Well, the election is it is very, in fact, it is very, very, it plays more than a major role. It's the most important role you can play right now in the life of the Nigerian citizens and the citizen. Think about the things Nigerians are suffering from: currency issue, access to cash, fuel issues, etc. All these problems, security threats, name any problem you're facing. No lights, no this, no jobs. It is linked to who you elect as your leader. Who you elect as your leader. You elect the right leader, those problems will be phased out. You elect the wrong leaders. In fact, they will even multiply times. This is existential. And that is why it's very, very important. We can't say, oh, it doesn't concern us, or you're abroad, or you can't have that kind of mentality. You need to get involved because you have family, you have friends, you still want the best for your country. So this is my it is very, very important that you get involved, and it is very important that elections are taken very seriously, especially by the youth, which they are taking seriously already. I mean, so that is good to hear.
Okay. By voting, citizens are participating in a democratic process. Do you actually believe that here in Nigeria we practice that?
Personally, in the past, I did not believe that we because these systems are usually marred by rigging, electoral violence, manipulations from INEC, and another major issue, which is the judges. That's another aspect too. But despite all that, that is not enough reason we must come out on election day. You have to come out. We have to come out. We have to reach those. I mean, personally, everyone I know around me, friends say, look, you guys must support this movement because it is personal to us. So we have to, and this is the, will I say, the last chance we have. Most of us, you must give that. So that is why, the elections is another time for us to, vote for the right leader and vote Peter Obi of Labour Party and Dati Baba Ahmed.
Oh, okay. As an IT coach, and sorry, as an ICT coach, what have you done individual to make sure that Mr. Peter Obi emerged as a winner?
Okay, that's very, very good. Personally, on my own, I've supported the movement from will I say, donations, where I can. Then I've also tried to spread the message, of course, on my profile. I'm just doing it personally on my own, just spread on my profile, share the message, social media profiles, exactly. Everyone I come across. So many students come to ask me, oh, we're having this issue. I'm trying to get this skill. I'm saying good. I try to teach them, but it's also important for them to know, because, what is ironical to me is I tell people, I say, look, most of the members of the other parties that preach disunity or, ethnic division, since I've been coaching, no one has ever come to meet me and ask me, oh, because you're a coach, I want to know what tribe you are, or I want to help you, or I want to talk to you. You get it? So we need to have this unity. So personally, what I've done is, people I speak across, I say, look, I basically spread the message, spread the gospel to them, tell them, this is the problem you're facing, but ensure you cast your vote. If you go across my pages now on Twitter, it's the same thing. So this is what I do. And spread the message, convince people. People don't need to be convinced by now. The action should speak for them. So for those that are sitting on the fence or undecided, this is what I do. So, and I'll continue to.
All right. All right, Chike. Still talking about the role the Nigerians in the diaspora are playing, towards this coming elections. What more are you guys doing? Because I believe there is a community of obedience in Germany. All right. Are you aware of, the progress they have made so far and what it is that they are doing to ensure that Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati emerge as the winners of this election?
Okay, from what I understand, I know there's a huge rally in Munich coming up. So that's basically from a public sensitization point of view. Also, voters sensitization as well. Then, of course, donations for, trying to donate basically for materials, etc., just to support the movement, on ground. I think this and much more other ways, Then, of course, from people with different skills, online, offline, however you can contribute. The aim is you're spreading the gospel. That is your goal. You're spreading the message to people, reaching out to others, families, friends, acquaintances, on the need why things have to change. For those you can see how things work in other countries. Why can't they work in your country? It's not impossible. Why? If Ghana is getting it right, other countries are getting it right, Rwanda is getting it right, I can go on and on. These are countries that have, uninterrupted power supply. Why not? What is that, roadblock that is stopping us from getting it right? Why is it impossible? We need to be, I don't want to compare, we need to compare ourselves with our African, countries in Africa, not even Europe.
Yeah.
Let's start from there. That should be enough motivation. If your neighbor like Ghana is getting it right, why can't we get it? Why? What is that, hindrance that is stopping us from getting it right? Why is the system so broken? So it has to be fixed. It has to be dismantled. And, if we're really serious about taking our country taking Nigeria to the next level, it must be, it has to be. The benefit of the greater good is better than the benefit of a few people. So this is the way I see it.
All right, we all share in that perspective, and it's really good that Nigerians and the diaspora are really involved in these elections. And that brings me to my next question. Before 2022, a lot of people were not interested in politics. Okay, a lot of youth, especially, were already, hopeless and giving up on the political system. But with the emergence of Peter Obi, we saw another reawakening in the life of the youths. I don't know how much you have participated in elections and the political scene in Nigeria before now. But what we are seeing now is that a lot of people are getting more involved and getting more aware, okay, about what is going on in the country, and they demand a change. Do you think that this will translate to more votes for Peter Obi?
Absolutely. I believe so. It will, because there is no bigger proof, as Mr. Peter Obi said. He said the previous politicians, the way we was practicing the past, the options you are left with was like choosing between the devil and the blue sea. This was, so that's why there was so much voter apathy. It was like, man, if you have two bad choices, so it's like, I mean, let it. So there was that voter apathy, especially among the youth. It was like, okay, look, whoever, since these are the only two choices that we can choose from, there's no need. So that was the attitude. But now Mr. Peter Obi has, redefined politics in Nigeria. He has brought something different, never seen before. A candidate that does not, very, very less transactional, that people, his emphasis, as he says, they give shishi. That alone is shows, not just that, his track record, saying, look, if you can, this is what I did when I was gone, which is the biggest proof, your track record. What have you done? There's no bigger proof than that. Why you are in government of Anambra State? How did you run the state? What did you accomplish? What were your track records? And all this have been proven. He's the most investigated, they tried to look for death on this guy. Nothing has been found. That is a huge thing never seen before. People take that for granted. I mean, how many candidates can come and say, if you have anything on me, prove it today and I'll stop campaigning? How many months? Over 6-7 months and on. So I think the youths have gravitated towards him because he's speaking exactly their mind. He's like, look, this is a man I can relate with. He's accessible. He gives town hall meetings. He comes to universities to speak to them directly, not through a spokesperson. He holds Zoom sessions with them directly, not through spokespersons himself. So, and he answers their questions, accessible. He's the youngest. So competence, he has the compassion, and he has the character, and he has the personality. So of all the three, this is why I think the youths have gravitated towards him, and they've seen that, look, the other options, they've tried to divide you on tribe. They tell you, if you're not from this tribe, or from the north, or from the, you're from Hausa or Yoruba or any other tribes, don't vote. All that whole division is just has just been proven as a means, while the the old order hold on to power, basically, because everybody's suffering right now. You can see it. If you're from the north, you're from the north. Do you buy fuel cheaper? That is a question. Ask yourself. Do you buy food or bread cheaper? Everybody is suffering exactly the same thing. When bandits come to kidnap you, do they ask who is who not Igbo, or who is your okay? You're not Igbo, I'm kidnapped. They kidnap everybody. So that's what you need to think. When a bad government comes in, you are also a victim. Even if your so-called kingsman is there, this is how we should think. We've tried that type of politics, and it has not gotten us anywhere. Over how many years? I mean, we talked about the past. That has not gotten us anywhere. So things have to change, and things have to change now. So I think Peter Obi has also tried to redefine that. That's why it's very refreshing to see so youth of, across the country, supporting him.
Great, great, great. You mentioned tribal politics and all of that, but we're going to get to that after the break. We're going on a very short break now, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is my message to the Nigerian youths. I am glad that we have this great opportunity to discuss about the future of this country, Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us, but to the youths most especially. I am super proud of what the youths have done, the realization that indeed the power lies with the youth. Indeed, successive governments and leadership have failed the youth. They've dismissed their capacity, the creativity, innovation. And this is why we are where we were. I am here to speak to you that not only am I proud of you, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, is super proud of you. We're proud of the movement you're leading and all the sacrifices being made for a better Nigeria. I can tell you, Peter Obi means well for Nigerian youths. He will run a youth-inclusive government and purposeful leadership that will usher in a new dawn for generations to come. Job issues, unemployment, and indeed all the other hazards that we face as a younger generation, I believe will be a thing of the past, at least reduced significantly. I'm here to remind you that we are the last lap of this race when we all need to come to the consciousness that the effort we're going to put in the next coming weeks can change our trajectory completely and positively. So I want to urge you, do what you can to keep on the fight until a better Nigeria is achieved. You need to make sure that you realize again that you're actually the one running for presidency, just using Peter Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed as symbol. We are coming for a better Nigeria. This is time to vote for Labour Party. The logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin, or LP. On that day, come out in mass, show your energy, show your creativity, do everything you need to do positively to make sure your votes count. That means wait until the end. I am thankful to God for what the Nigerian youths are doing. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome back to the program. This is still Diaspora Diaries on Obidati Family TV. Just before the break, we were talking to Chike Diala, all the way in Germany. And he's been talking to us about the contribution of the diasporans in this election. All right, Mr. Chike, just before the break, you mentioned the factor that tribal politics has been playing in Nigeria all this time. Our politicians and political leaders have used tribe and religion to divide us over the years. But what we see with the candidacy of Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed is that people from different tribes and religion are coming together. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed once mentioned, in fact, he does that repeatedly, that the day you hear President Peter Obi, that is the day that Nigeria has been united. Do you agree that the candidacy of Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati have united Nigeria? And how far, that's my second question, how far do you think the politics of tribe and religion will play in this coming elections?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very good question. I would say, without any doubt, yes, the candidacy of Peter Obi and Yusuf Baba Ahmed, I mean, you can clearly see it in the rallies, the campaigns, because I follow it a lot. In fact, the last one in Lagos, it was just beautiful to see. Where, for example, before the campaign started, there were bishops praying together, and also there were imams. They were all together, together. That alone was just, beautiful to see. There was no, everyone prayed and it went fine. So that candidacy has shown unity. because whether we like it or not, the youths have been united. I don't care where you are from. You have been united in suffering so far. As I said before, you've been united in suffering. No matter what your religious leaders tell you, from the north, you can see it. You're suffering the same way youths in the south are suffering. People are going through a lot. Cash, I talked about it, banditry, kidnapping, all that whole, tribal talk is just a means for them to get into power. That is all. Is a power control mechanism. Guys, please think. So you have been united in suffering. Don't you think it's time? You should be united now in liberating your country, and also, united in, prosperity, having security, having good roads, having healthcare, etc. Electricity, jobs. Don't you think it's time we should be all united in achieving all those things we want to? So this is my answer to that. And your second question, can you remind me, please?
Yeah, how far would the politics of tribe and religion go in this coming elections?
Okay, thank you for that. I mean, as we said, the old order are still going to practice it because this is what has worked for them. So let's not kid ourselves. It will still be a factor because they've been doing everything to leashing all their onslaught, all their, their propaganda machine onslaught, of tribe and religion, especially the landlord of Lagos, so-called landlord of Lagos. So this is all they know. They cannot go directly to campaign to the people or work in the market. They can't do that. They're afraid. They can't do that. So all they know is tribe and religion. It will be a part of it. The only question now is, are the people ready to, resist them and say, look, we have heard you, but now that one is not going to work this time. You have told us this in the past, for the past how many years, past 8 years, 16 years, whatever. That would not work now. Now is different. Things must change now. Because any decision you take now, think about it. For those who, fall into that trap, will affect you for the next 8 years. Let's not kid ourselves. So all I simply need to ask you to do is add 8 years to your age. If you're 20 now, by the time whoever wins, just think about it. I mean, Buhari started 2015, add 8 years to that. Add 8 years to that. So we're in 2023 already. So add 8 years to your age. This is where I say, practically, you want 8 more years of further suffering, further banditry, kidnapping, trust me, let's watch and see if that's what you want, because you're less one from your tribe. No. So it's good to focus on what is right. Reject tribal politics. They will come, no doubt, but you have to reject them and say no to them and vote Peter Obi.
Great.
Okay, Mr. Shike, I know you can't wait to start voting all the way from Germany. Mr. Peter Obi made mention that when he becomes the president, that he's going to implement the constitution concerning diaspora voting. Do you think he can actually pull that?
I believe if he said that, Mr. Peter Obi is someone we can believe, because track record shows that. At least we can start, being like other countries too. So for diaspora voting, for people who have been verified, of course, you want nationals of that country. You don't want verified. So that would be another pathway too. So if he gets in there and he needs to do it, definitely will be a great thing, so that others can also participate too and add their their voice, their say in the matter.
Yeah, still talking about voting. Do you think the INEC can actually deliver a free and fair election?
Well, INEC as a body, there has been question marks, personally, especially for the INEC rec in Lagos, there's been a lot of question marks, about how partisan they appear to be, or he appears to be. They've been accused of that as well due to his utterances on TV and the openly biased nature of you're taking sides. For example, liking a tweet where Peter Obi was, I think, accused of being, I can't remember, busy being something like that. But you're liking a tweet, that is those things. You are supposed to be neutral. So INEC so far has not appeared neutral. Not just that, also saying, I mean, they were reporting why the Lagos INEC rec, specifically the Lagos INEC rec, was saying that he wanted to partner with there's a certain
MCO
Lagos, exactly, for distribution of PVC material. So all this news you're hearing does not show that they can be neutral so far. But I still emphasize my stand that if the people come out overwhelmingly, even if they want to rig, there's nothing INEC, MCO Luomo, landlord of Lagos, there's nothing none of them can do about it. If the people come out, defend their votes, and follow it up from beginning to end, there's nothing they can do about it. So the arrows may come, the challenges may be there, but I think the voice of the people will prevail at the end. In the end.
Okay. Finally, I believe you are aware of the new CBN policy and the Naira swap policy.
Yes.
And the level of hardship and controversy that has surrounded that policy. What impact do you think this would have on the elections?
Okay, if implemented to the letter, I mean, so far, it would definitely reduce vote buying, at least to an extent. Although we know that some of these, individuals still have access to it, but maybe not the volume at which they would have liked to have, but which will reduce vote buying, and make the elections to an extent, much free and fairer. That's one aspect for the cashless policy. Another policy is that it can also reduce thuggery, on that day, because some people definitely will plan to voter intimidation. We talked about it, which may happen in Lagos. You should expect it. Also in Edo State, I think I saw reports this morning of former governor telling his members of his his team to intimidate voters in Edo State, things like that. So thuggery and all that. So those having less cash in circulation may affect that. So even people they come to offer those currencies to, the old ones to me will definitely reject it. So I think it's definitely a good thing if implemented, to the letter. That is the thing. So that's my belief. And we have basically, I think, 2 weeks or a week, so that should be fine.
Okay, that's interesting. You see it as a plus, even though a lot of people in Nigeria that are experiencing the cash shortage may not see it as that. But a lot of other people that we've had on the program have suggested that Nigerians should just tighten their belts and bear with it because it's for the greater good. Okay, we all hope so.
Yes, just to clarify.
We all hope that it's for the greater good. Okay. Finally, we'd like you to, give a word of advice or, whatever you call it now to Nigerians, especially those that have not decided who to vote. What do you have to say to people that are on the other side or people that are undecided?
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to clarify before I say that, regarding the cash shortages, I know people are suffering a lot right now, but I don't want to come across as insensitive when I made that statement, or the fact that one is abroad. But think about it as this election is so much critical. Is much more critical. We barely have till the end of the month. So think about it that way. And hopefully everything should be much fine. Now, to the others on the other side, I said before, look, I don't care if you're on the other side or you're undecided, you are still suffering what we are all suffering, what everyone is suffering. You understand me? You're still suffering what everyone is suffering. I mean, it doesn't matter. So if you think that voting the other candidate would solve these problems, if you think so, then, as I said, add 8 years to your age. Now, it's a very simple thing. Or if you can't think of yourself, at least think for your children, because you cannot see white and call it another color. You have to be objective. It's not about sentiment. You have to be objective. We all want a better society, a better country. This is not about what benefits you alone or your family. Think about it like what benefits us as a nation. You may have all the money in your account, but do you think you'll be immune from kidnappers? Do you think you'll be immune if there is insecurity, or you'll be immune from bad governance, reckless armed robbers, etc.? Do you think you'll be immune from that? So this is how you should be thinking. It should benefit all of us, even your children. You think you may have your one sickness away from, think about it. If there's an emergency, with all your money, your one sickness away from, from death in that country. Be honest. One sickness, just one emergency away. Your money will not save you. So if we have, the right leadership that will put in place, give us all these things we need, reduce security, banditry, youths are employed, healthcare, jobs, etc., then we can have a functional, society. So this is my advice to you. We have been united in suffering, Now it's time for us to be united in building a new nation. And the time is now. The time is now, not tomorrow, not next tomorrow. This is the time. Time is now. Thank you.
The time is now. Those are your final words. Thank you so much, Chike Diala. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sparing your time to talk to us.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Wow, Grace, the time is now.
Yeah.
With about, I don't know how many days, 12 days or so.
Barely 2 weeks.
Yes, barely 2 weeks to go. How do you feel? Now that we're getting closer and closer.
Getting more excited.
Yeah.
Getting ready, changing my friends, family. Yeah, we should get ready for it. This is our time. This is our opportunity. So we need to take it.
Exactly. I'm trying to borrow the words of Mr. Chike Diala. He said we've been united in suffering. So it's now time for us to unite to liberate Nigeria. So this is a call to all Nigerians, okay? Wherever you are in the 36 states of this country, including the FCT, it is time for us to unite, to vote Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati, Baba Ahmed, to be our president and vice president of Nigeria. This is the best choice right now. All right, just in case you're in Nigeria in the diaspora and you want to participate in the program, just reach out to us on any of our social media platforms at Obidati Family TV. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All right, just reach out to us and we'll get back to you immediately. You can also follow us individually and reach out to us and talk to us, interact with us individually. I am at official PCatch across all social media platforms. And what about you, Grace?
You can follow me on Facebook at Ife Amara and Instagram at Signal Empire.
Interesting. All right, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program Diaspora Diary. Do well to join us again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye for now.